Roxana says, I have a 22 carat of gold, 18 carat of gold with diamonds, 21 gold carat, silver jewelry with diamonds in it. When I ask the jewelers, they say 22, 18, and 21 carat of gold cannot be converted into 24, as it is impossible to raise lower carat gold to 24. So I cannot exactly know the value of to calculate my zakat. I'm confused. How do I calculate my zakat on the jewelry I have? Your question is a little bit strange, Roxana, because you are not obliged to convert it into 24. You're asked to do your calculation so that you would know how much is the total amount of gold which you possess, so that we could tell whether it is zakatable or not. So the zakat threshold is 85 grams of gold, of 24 karat gold, which means that if you have 85 grams of 22 karat of gold, this is not zakatable. Why? Because it is definitely below 24 karat of gold. The two missing are usually copper. So the actual 24 karat gold in this amount would be probably 83.5 or 84 grams, maybe. So if you have a lot of gold, that is, let's assume 22 karat of gold, and it is 100 or 200 grams or more, definitely there is zakat in it. So how to calculate it? Take the jewels back again, the gold, to the jeweler's shop and tell him how much does this cost without the diamonds. He will tell you it costs 10,000 euros, for example. Then you give 2.5% of that as zakat. In another word, you can divide it by 40 and the result is for zakat. And how to transfer the weight in 22 karat into the weight in 24 karat, there are lots of apps on the internet. You just write in Google search, for example, 100 grams of 22K gold equals how much in 24K gold, and it will give you the calculation. They can do this easily without needing to go to the jeweler shop if you wish. So there's no problem in that, inshallah. Nasiba is saying, how should one calculate zakat if they have the nisab value and have a debt that they're owning? The amount they have doesn't cover the amount of the debt. We were told that one should subtract any amount that they're owing and add any amount that is owed to them. Is this correct? The answer is no. If I have 200,000 euros debt, I bought it from someone, I spent it, I bought something with it, and he wants his 200,000 off me, and I have 100,000 in my bank account, and my zakat date is due tomorrow. So today I have one of two options. Either take the 100,000 cash and give it to pay part of the loan. So instead of having 200,000, I have only 100,000 left. So there's no zakat on me. If I wait till tomorrow, then the cash money I have to give 2.5%, 2,500 euros for zakat. Regardless if I have 200,000 loan or 2 million loan. This is a different issue. As long as you have the threshold for a whole lunar year, for a whole Hijri year, you have to give zakat on that. How to know what is the threshold of the zakat and how to pay money over his business. And this is frequently asked question. And unfortunately, people do not realize that not every business requires zakat. So for example, I have $1 million, I wish, and I make a company or an establishment that is totally owned by me. And I furnish the building, I rent a building, I get employees to work in my building, and every year there's no zakat on it. What about the $1 million, Sheikh? Well, the $1 million were invested in the premises, in the furniture, in the cars, and in the telephone line, the lease line, etc., the computers. But the essence or the work of this company is consultation. So people call in and say, we have a business, we need a consultant to come and make a roadmap for us on how to progress in our business. So my employee goes and sits with them for a couple of weeks, puts a roadmap and a strategy, a mission, a vision, blah, 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 and they pay him an amount of money. I take the amount of money and I expand and spend it. At the end of the year, I don't have savings. I don't have fixed assets that are sold and bought. So I'm not a merchant, I'm not a trader. I give services, I give consultations, there's no zakat in it. Those who have a factory or that is $100 million worth of machinery and property and etc., what is zakatable is what is produced. So if we produce and in the warehouse we have goods worth of $1 million, then this million is zakatable, but not the other 99 million of the premises and the machinery, etc. For a person who has a saloon, I'm assuming that the work is halal, meaning that it is a saloon for men. It's a barber's shop. So they only cut hair and they do haircuts that are halal. They don't shave the beard. They don't pluck the eyebrows, etc. This is permissible. There is no zakat. The chair, the hair dryers, the jill, the blades, whatever, there's no zakat on that. The zakat is on your revenue. So after 1 year of collecting profit and money, we look at the money in the bank account. If it is more than, let's say, $300 or $400, the value of 595 grams of silver, then you give 2.5% every year on that particular day. And Allah Azza wa Jal knows best.
My question is, if one does not remember which dates of a Hijri year the gold jewelry reaches nisab, in order to pay the zakat for a certain number of past years, is it advisable to pick any date for every year, for example, the 1st or 27th of Ramadan? And does it have to be the same dates for all the years that the zakat needs to be calculated for? Or is it advisable to pick the day with the highest rate of gold for each previous year, as the rate of gold changes every day?
First of all, we have to determine the number of years that we want to go back to. So if you say 10 years, in this case, we go in the lunar calendar, year 1434. We are in the year 1444. So 10 years ago, it was 1434. We then have to estimate which month was it. So maybe it was Dhul Hijjah, which is the 12th month, which means that I've skipped 11 months of the whole lunar year. But then I'm doubtful. Said, no, that's too late. 11th month, Dhul Qa'dah, Ramadan, the 9th. If you reach a particular month, take a month or two earlier just to be safe. And since you've designated that particular month in the year 1434, you move on the year after, the same month. And do this to the rest of your lives. That this date of this month, I have to evaluate the gold I have and give 2.5% every year. So in year 1434, the gold used to cost so much. My zakat was this much. In year 1435, it went down. My gold zakat is this, 36, 37, and so forth. You estimate, and we have a chart that tells us exactly how much the rate of the gold was at these on these years and dates. So alhamdulillah, you can solve this problem easily. Hashim from Saudi Arabia says he has an amount of money that is due for zakat on the 1st of Ramadan. However, 6 months earlier, his father gave him a new amount of money. So he's asking now, how would I calculate zakat? Akhi, basically speaking, every amount of money that exceeds the nisab, that exceeds the threshold, you have to put it in a container or a wallet, and after 12 months, you give zakat for it. But this is not practical. We cannot have 12 portfolios or 12 wallets or 12 bags or boxes, and we put our salaries in each one. And 1 year later, we see how much do we have left, and we give zakat on that. Therefore, scholars said that to make things easy and to remove any confusion or doubt, let's set one date in the Hijri year. Let's assume it is the 1st of Muharram. And every 1st of Muharram, I allocate and calculate how much I have, whether it came 1 month ago or 6 months ago or a full year, and give whatever 2.5% on whatever I possess. And then for the next 12 months, I would not care about what comes in and what goes out in terms of wealth. Until the following or the coming 1st of Muharram, I do this exercise again and give zakat, and this is the best way to do it.